Let the record show the regular Riverview City Council meeting was called to order on June 2nd, 2025 at 7 p.m. Will the clerk please take roll?
Councilmember Ganaga.
Here.
Councilmember O'Neill.
Here.
Councilmember Prey. Councilmember Robbins.
Here.
Mayor Swift.
Here.
Councilmember Webb.
Here.
Councilmember Workman.
Here.
Let the record show that Councilman Prey is not excused. Tonight we have the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilwoman Ganaga and invocation by Councilwoman O'Neill. Will you please rise?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Precious Lord, we thank you for our many blessings, and we ask that you might bless our elected officials in their decision-making matters to the best of our community. Amen.
Amen. Okay. Jeff, some announcements?
Yes, Your Honor, first we'll start with Recreation and Mr. Todd Dickman.
Thank you. I just wanted to let everyone know we are just a little bit of a week away from the annual Riverview Summerfest. So Summerfest is June 12th through the 14th, which is next weekend, Father's Day weekend. And there are activities for the whole family. We do have the carnival going. We have our concerts every night with featuring bands such as Mega 80s and 50 Amp Fuse. We'll also have fireworks on Saturday night and just some other little entertainment throughout the day. So please come up and enjoy Summerfest and, partake in the activities and maybe even stop by the beer tent and buy a beer from our American Legion for the weekend. And also I do want to thank Bose Cannabis, who is our major sponsor for Summerfest and has given us enough to make sure we can put on a great event for everyone this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd.
Your Honor, in the agenda number 9-4, I'd like to remove from the agenda tonight.
Remove it?
Yes, please.
Okay, it's removed. Anything else?
No, Your Honor, that's it.
Okay, I do have a few announcements. As some of you may or may not know, each spring, we do a Turtle Island photo contest. It originally started as the first person to send a picture of a turtle on Turtle Island made by the DPW would win something, but it's morphed in over the years of I just collect the photos from residents as they get pictures of the turtles on the island, and it causes quite a bit of interest in the park and the turtles, and I can't believe there's such interest in turtles in Riverview, but there is. So I do want to announce the winners of the contest this year. It's Darlene Liedl, won a $50 gift certificate for Riverview Nutrition, and Ellie Cotton won a $50 gift certificate from A Serendipity, so congratulations to them. I do also want to comment on the Todd on the Memorial Day ceremony. I got lots of compliments this year. It's a very well done, really well organized ceremony. And I think the Riverview does a great job and the American Legion of honoring those who paid the ultimate sacrifice in the service of their country. And we actually had it's preceded by a motorcycle ride from the American Legion to the event. And we had a record number of bikes this year. We have 57 bikes, so it was a really good turnout. Also wanted to comment on we were part of a cereal drive. The City of Riverview, Knights of Columbus, Rotary, and Aquinas had a month-long cereal drive, and collected a total of 472 boxes of cereal and $320 in cash. So it was a pretty successful event, and I wanted to congratulate all those for participating and being part of that. Let's see. We are still in the middle of met with Chief Owens a couple weeks ago about they got a new fire safety training house. So we're in the middle of fundraising for that. It's in good shape, but it needs some TLC, some new carpeting, painting, and those types of things, and some improvements. So we're still in the middle of fundraising for that. So kind of keep an eye on the paper for what the results of that would be. And that's it I have for announcements. 5.1, approve the minutes of the 5/19/25 regular Riverview City Council meeting and the condensed version for publication. What's council's pleasure?
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Councilwoman O'Neill, supported by Councilman Robbins. Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember O'Neill?
Yes?
Councilmember Robbins?
Yes.
Mayor Swift?
Yes.
Councilmember Webb?
Yes.
Councilmember Workman?
Yes.
Councilmember Ganaga?
Yes.
Tonight, we have no public hearings. Before we get to public comment, I'd like to take a minute and introduce our Wayne County Rep, Joe Palomera. He wants to speak tonight about the City of Riverview receiving a CDGB grant for $600,000 for improvements at Young Patriots Park. So, Joe, come on up. And thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for the invite. Madam Clerk, members of the council, members of the administration. Yes, primarily I'm here to talk about the $600,000 going to CDBG, but actually I'd like to acknowledge a few other wonderful
Absolutely.
things that are happening in Riverview. And I'll start over at this side of the room. Thank you to the police department for how you coordinated with the Wayne County Sheriff and the Grosseal Police Department on that bridge closure. That can be a nightmare. And this year was as smooth as any that we've seen. And I know there's going to be another few weeks where it's going to be an issue, so thank you so much for your cooperation this year. Also have to, and I know you did, Mr. Mayor, have to acknowledge the Riverview Gabriel Richard High School basketball state champs. I do have a particular rooting interest in my grandson was a starting point guard on that team and will be attending Wayne State on a basketball scholarship in the fall. So his name is Luke Westerdale, and thank you for acknowledging that team. They were a fun team to watch. I saw every game the last 4 years. Now, the reason why I'm here. It is every so often there are some unused funds because projects come in under budget, and Riverview was ready with the Young Patriots Park project so that they were able to take advantage of $600,000 that was recycled, if you will, because of other contingencies that came in, and thank goodness Riverview was ready. And that's on the heels of the $340,000 for the Vreeland Park project. So all told, with what the city's going to contribute, there's going to be over $1 million invested in the city of Riverview in parks and recreation that adds to the quality of life for the citizens of Riverview. And I couldn't be happier to partner with the city. Before I step down, I do want to acknowledge another City of Riverview resident who gave Wayne County excellent service, and me personally excellent service, and Karen Pitts, who you all probably know. Her and her husband, Rod, are both retirees of Wayne County, and Karen Pitts was my legislative assistant for over 25 years and did a wonderful job, and she made sure I knew what was going on in Riverview and that Riverview was always well taken care of. So thanks again for the invite tonight. I appreciate the cooperation the county and the city have had over the years, and look forward to working with you all in the future. Thanks.
Thank you, Joe. And before you leave, I just want to thank you and also Mr. Mark Kibbe from the City of Taylor, who was instrumental in obtaining these funds for us. And we appreciate all the help and support. I mean, the timing was really good, I think, because we've been getting beat up about some of the conditions of our park. So, and Young Patriots is our premier park. So this way, it'll stay the premier park.
Well, it's Mark and those like Hassan Sheikh in economic development. They deserve the lion's share of credit because we just get at the end get to approve it, but it's their recommendation, and because you all were ready with a project that was ADA compliant and it was at the top of the list. That's no coincidence that the City of Riverview was ready at the top of the list, and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, and thanks for coming.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Now's the time for a guest and visitor comment. Anyone wishing to address the mayor and council, please approach the podium, state your name and address for the record. Try to keep your comments to 5 minutes. There's no sharing of time and no rebuttals. And please be respectful. Anybody want to address the mayor and council? Seeing none, we will move on. We have no organizational business tonight. Any anything further to be removed from the consent agenda?
Your Honor,
Councilman Workman,
9-3.
9-3. Sorry, just see what else we got. Okay. 9-1, award cooperative bid purchase of one 2025 X-Mark Laser Z E-Series 751 lawnmower to Weingarts in the amount of $10,719. 9-2, request the reallocated program 2022 Community Development Block Grant funds in the amount of $600,100.90 for the Riverview CDGB Young Patriots Park ADA play structure. And that's it. What's council's pleasure?
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Councilwoman O'Neill, supported by Councilman Robbins. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Robbins?
Yes.
Mayor Swift?
Yes.
Councilmember Webb?
Yes.
Councilmember Workman?
Yes.
Councilmember Ganaga?
Yes.
Councilmember O'Neill?
Yes.
Okay, 9-3, authorize and accept the consulting agreement with Civil and Environmental Consultants, Inc. for PFAS consultation for our Riverview Land Preserve Liquids Technology, or RLP Liquids Technologies, and costs. The agreement will continue through wastewater treatment plant design and construction with an estimated date of completion being September 2026. Jeff?
Your Honor.
Councilman Workman.
The city manager and I had a discussion over the weekend about this, and I'd like you to go ahead and enlighten the council.
Okay.
Thank you, Councilman Workman. So it's been coming for the last 4 or 5 years, Eagle and DUA, well, it's really Eagle and the EPA with the forever chemical, PFAS and PFOA. And of course, we don't create it at the Riverview Land Preserve, but we're the receptacle of the trash, and we are now going to be, it's an unfunded mandate, and we're going to have to treat it. Well, I know that council has seen presentations by Tetra Tech, and we've been going round and round about what's the best technology, what's the best system, and the whole bit. And the numbers change many times. I think it's a little confusing to council and even to the administration to a certain extent. But instead of rushing this through, even though that we have to comply in May till September of next year, the May is a deadline, but I think if we show substantial completion by then, we should be able to have a couple extra additional months. So as Councilman Workman said, we discussed this on the weekend. Instead of jumping right in and trying to push this through, it's my intention to kind of take a step back and have this other water expert that comes highly recommended to me from different people to study what we're doing to make sure we do the right thing. Of course, we're looking at a $10 million plant right now on paper, and that will have to be bonded. And the funding source would be a reduction in hauling charges because we're currently hauling a lot of our leachate off-site. And then whatever after closure, if the bond goes past closure, then maybe royalties may have to help out with that payment. However, before we get too deep in this, I wanted to bring on another team member so that we can slow the process down and study it to make sure we're getting the right technology for the right process, and kind of be our Riverview set of eyes, an independent Riverview set of eyes. So that's kind of the idea. Mm-hmm. So that's it in a nutshell. We will have other discussions once we get the plant at this point of 30% designed and engineered. It'll be brought back to you. But you know, right now I don't have anything else to report except for the building and the infrastructure is getting engineered right now, and there's a pretty good what we're going to need with square foot and electrical capacity and all of that. Then the water treatment itself, to treat the water in the leachate, that's being designed, and there's been bench tests and pilot tests. And we're going to recheck it one more time. we don't want to rush in and make an error where that, if we issue bonds, we only get one bite at the apple. This amount of money has to cover everything, and it has to work. So there's going to be provisions put into the construction that whoever builds it's going to have to operate it for 6 months to make sure it works and takes out the contaminants, as our new permit will say.
Would the intent of this plant to totally replace the hauling of it, or would we ever get the,
Well-
we're still going to have to haul something?
Well, right now, in the pilot, it appears that it's going to only have to haul 10% of the residual. 90% of it will be treated. And, the hauling costs can be anywhere between $500,000 and $700,000 a year, which we have no benefit for.
Your Honor,
Councilman Workman.
one of my major concerns on this is, and I'm sure city manager can tell you how DUA is doing, pointing fingers at the attorneys, pointing fingers at the engineers, pointing fingers at everybody, and absolutely nothing's getting done. Now, this guy we're bringing on is going to be the key. This is the dude. This is the guy we go to. It's not going to be, well, he talked to the engineers and they said this, and he talked. This is the guy.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes. This guy is the water expert, and he is verifying everything that Tetra Tech is designing right now. But at the end of the day, we will have a construction manager who will be responsible for the total project.
Now,
So we have
It'll be one person or one company that'll be responsible for the total project.
well, in all fairness to you, this is not your area, and you'll get the blame. And whoever gets elected will come on, and then you're going to be the biggest idiot that ever walked this earth. So we need to make sure that there is a person that is responsible so you don't get killed on this thing, because all the people up here that are going to come in and they know better once we're done.
Well, and to your point, Councilman Workman, we don't have a city resource for that, and that's why we went out and hired this consultant who is the guru of leachate water treatment. And
So this will be the guy?
yes, and then the person responsible for the plant to be constructed and operate as designed and meeting all of the parameters will be the construction management company. They'll take on underneath. All right, it's been designed, tested, here's the equipment, you're responsible. So for the next 6 months, you're operating it to meet the goals. And we are, not to get into the details, but we are also putting in there that if there's additional equipment and process needed, it's not on the city, it's on the engineering and construction company to provide those at no cost to the city. So if they get done and it's supposed to clear it to 90% and it only clears it to 80%, and they need another piece of equipment, it's on that company and the engineer to come up with that equipment and put it in at their dollar.
See, now, we have at DUA, they're still fighting over the pumps.
And
Who's in charge of the pumps? The engineers, not the engineers, the
Right.
manufacturer, not the manufacturer, and they still don't work.
so what we're going to have is called a construction management company at risk. That means they're totally in risk for the whole project. So if it don't work, we point the finger at one party.
We sue that person.
Yep, that's the one party.
Fine.
And because we're working under timeframes right now, Corp Council has put in liquidating damages. So that means if they don't get done in time and we can't disperse the leachate or the stormwater to DUA, and we have to haul it, they're going to have to pay for our hauling. So they're going to have a financial interest to make it work and make it work timely. So that's the plan. And I know you didn't learn all of this, you're learning it tonight, but you have to trust us that I didn't have anything to bring to you yet.
Your Honor,
Councilwoman Ganaga.
through your chair to Jeff, will you explain the unfunded mandate and why we have to spend so much money to do this right now?
Yeah, so they call it EPA and EGLE, meaning the old DEQ of Michigan calls it a forever chemical. It's a chemical that's getting into the water called PFAS and PFOA. This is the thing that happened at the Huron River up in the north and killed all the fish. And it's a contaminant that they want us to treat, but they're not providing any funding for us. So they came through and said, you will treat it. Now, we don't make it, we just receive the trash that has it in it. So of all our leachate that goes through the hill from rainwater, snow, and the whole bit that we collect and process, we currently clean it for PCBs, for phenolics, and BODs. Now we're going to have to clean it as well for PFAS and PFOA, and that's what the new plant's about.
Thank you.
Any other discussion or
Yes,
questions?
Question. Just
Councilman
so I-
Webb.
So I understand, City Manager Dobek, so this management consultant will be responsible for overseeing the design and build and operation from Tetra Tech, correct? And then at the handover, there'll be still a consultant for 6 months to help us with the operation, because we're taking over the operation, not Tetra Tech, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Yes.
And the cost of that is $10,000 for the initial budget?
The initial budget was $10,000. Of course, it's an hourly rate that I'm going to manage on a weekly basis. I'm going to give him a budget to see if he can operate under. It's not an open checkbook. So it's going to be my job to make sure that he sees the mission-critical pieces of that. But it's going to be front-loaded more heavily than rear-ended, because once it gets bench test and he looks at all the leachate and looks at all the testing, he knows what resins, what GAC filters, what needs to be used. And then when they'll build it, then he'll come back and spend more time through the operation. So he's truly, it's like putting somebody, a water expert on staff at Riverview to make sure Riverview gets what it needs.
Do we have any initial assessment of what this could, over the long run, cost?
I don't, but I can tell you this, that it'll be put into a bucket, capitalized with the bond. This is part of the system. So even though the landfill may be spending the money now, when we get the bond, how bonds work, they can reimburse for the expenses for the project. So this will be within the budget. These costs are going to be accounted for and consolidated and put back into the project.
Understood. I guess the last is just a statement, is that this is dated April 18th, and I know you're under a lot of pressure, we all are, to get this project up and running, done, to meet the mandate. But I'm just concerned if this is dated April 18th, that we didn't have a chance to talk about this at the last study session.
I didn't know how involved he was going to get into this project until some of the things that he reviewed he didn't agree with, that were going to be major costs to the city. And as you know, I can approve professional services up to $15,000. So I thought, now it's time to bring it, because it's going to be over the 15 grand. And so that's why it's coming now. If I wouldn't have gotten to 15, it probably would have come later.
Okay, thanks, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Councilman Workman.
Jeff, just to follow up on that, I'm not an expert, and I know I'm not an expert, but are you going to bring us up to speed on the other technologies that you've looked at and you've ruled out? Or have this guy do that, ruled out for the landfill?
Yes. When we get this all teed up and it's designed and there's photos and there's the building's complete, the equipment's complete and the whole bit, we'll have him as well as Tetra Tech and whomever explain the whole project. This is not going to leave you in the dark. We're going to bring everybody in before we even push the go button. The goal is how this usually works in the industry, and I'm learning too, but I'm learning fast, is you want a 30% design, because at a 30% design, then you can actually put dollar amounts to line items, the building, the electrical panel and needs, the cement slab to hold a 500,000 gallon EQ tank, or a tank that mixes all this condensate and the leachate together. So when we get 30%, that might be the time that we come in and give you the drawings and the whole overview of the total project and what we believe the cost will be.
Now, in the past, there was some projects that Mr. Pintock was not involved in, and then had to come in later on and clean up. Now, is he involved in the very beginning of this and through this? And I'm talking him. I'm not talking anybody else. Him.
Yeah, so right now, I took a team approach to this project. It's not all on my shoulders. Of course, it rests with me, and I'm totally responsible. But I have Mr. Pintock and a designee if he's not available. I have Jeff Kugelman, our landfill director. I have now this Mr. Ivan Cooper. I have Tetra Tech, Ari and Jennifer, and we're still missing that construction management, which we'll have to go out to bid for.
And we also have our finance director and our
I'm sorry.
purchasing agent who is under her. If I could for just a second,
Yeah.
just to clarify, what we're asking the council to do is under 9.3 is to basically bring Ivan Cooper on. He's part of CEC, and he's the additional layer. And Jeff and I have had extensive conversations about the need of having another layer of expertise, because as the council will remember, some months ago, we had a presentation from another firm that was suggesting a certain path, and it turned out that the upper management of that firm would not back that proposal and their involvement. So that caused a scramble, and we talked to a number of water experts, including somebody that used to be the landfill engineer here back in the 90s, and Ivan Cooper came very highly recommended and brings to the table a lot of expertise that we need in order to feel comfortable. As Councilman Workman says, this is a huge undertaking, and Mr. Dobik says there's no room for error. It's got to be done right. We got to finance it properly, and it's got to work. And the references to DUA, that's a nightmare situation, and we're, as you know, we're members of DUA. What's going on there is they built a system, and there's huge litigation going on, and those that are more intimately involved can tell you that I think last month it only worked at, 25% of what it should work at, and there's no quick solutions in sight. So we don't want that here. We don't want another Allen Park studio. So we're going the extra mile, and that's why we're asking you to approve 9.3. 9.4, which has been removed, deals with the construction manager at risk, and that's ultimately the point entity that's going to be responsible. We're going to have one contract, it'll be with the CMAR, contract manager at risk, and if things don't work well, that's the entity that's going to pay us liquidated damages and will indemnify and hold us harmless and all those other issues that will be in our contract. So I wanted to give you kind of a macro overview of that.
I would just like to add one thing, that if we got the expansion or not, we would have to build this plant, correct? The big difference is, my guess is we wouldn't have to bond it out if we got the expansion. So there's the big cost of not getting the expansion that we have to bear the brunt ourselves. So I just wanted to point that out. Any further discussion? Roll call,
Mr. Mayor.
please. Councilman Robbins, sorry.
Through your chair to Jeff, or I'm sorry, City Manager Dolbeck. My apologies. It's my understanding that this individual, this firm that we're talking about, is extensively experienced in these types of large-scale projects. It's not your average run-of-the-mill individual. He has quite the reputation. Am I correct in that?
You are correct, Councilman Robbins. He has done multiple plants this size and bigger. So he has, what's really neat is all these technologies he has on his phone, and he can call these people and find out, lead times and what their equipment's about, and, match it up against our leachate, and so that's what I'm impressed. He's got me information already that I waited a long time from other vendors, so. And our hope is that it's going to come in well under where the first estimate was at.
I can appreciate the diligence in bringing in a secondary option with a project as large as this one, so that's refreshing.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please. Oh, did we not make the motion? I'll be darned. Okay. Authorize and accept the consulting agreement with Civil Engineering Consultants, Inc., CEC, for PFAS consultant for RLP Liquids Technologies and Costs. The agreement will continue through wastewater treatment plant design and construction with an estimated date completion of being September 2026. What's council's pleasure?
So
So
moved.
move.
Motion by Councilman Ganaga, supported by Councilman Workman. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Swift,
Yes.
Councilmember Webb,
Yes.
Councilmember Workman,
Yes.
Councilmember Ganaga,
Yes.
Councilmember O'Neill,
Yes?
Councilmember Robbins.
Yes.
10-1, adopt resolution approving the 2025-26 City of Riverview annual operating budget and millage rates. What's council's pleasure?
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Councilwoman O'Neill, supported by Councilman Robbins. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Webb,
Yes.
Councilmember Workman,
Yes.
Councilmember Ganaga,
Yes.
Councilmember O'Neill,
Yes?
Councilmember Robbins,
Yes.
Mayor Swift.
Yes. We have nothing under administration, nothing under ordinances. Now it's other business. Any other business council wants to bring up at this time?
Your Honor,
Councilwoman Ganaga.
I just want to thank the class of 2027 for being passionate about government and staying involved and on top of things and starting at such a young age. So I just wanted to congratulate Jacinia Shaya as president. Their vice president is Ileana Ortiz. Their treasurer is Luca Vitale, secretary Haley LaBelle, and their representatives are Cole Barczyk, Koyu Cooper, Lily Coleman, Noemi Garcia, and Jenna Scott. And I am sorry if I mispronounced anyone's names. Thank you all for your passion, and we hope to see you sitting up in our seats one day.
Thank you for that. With that, I look for a motion to adjourn from Councilman Workman.
So move, Your Honor.
Is there support?
Support.
Support by Councilwoman O'Neill. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Workman,
Yes.
Councilmember Ganaga,
Yes.
Councilmember O'Neill,
Yes?
Councilmember Robbins,
Yes.
Mayor Swift,
Yes.
Councilmember Webb.
Let the record show we adjourned at 7:32. Thank you.